Money FM 89.3, the best of Saturday mornings. Singapore Homebrew on Money FM 89.3.
All right. In Singapore, Camp Extraordinary, also called Camp X, is a volunteer-run 3-day camp for young people aged 16 to 20. They have physical, sensory, intellectual, and sometimes developmental disabilities. The Camp X, gives them a safe and fun and supported environment to get away from home for a few days, for self-discovery, confidence building, social connections, all of these other wonderful things that make up the life for many of us who maybe don't have some of the challenges that these youngsters have. Ivan Chin is with us. He is the CEO of Extraordinary People, the group that he is the brainchild of Camp Extraordinary, and also Sebastian Anthony, who is a mentor at Camp X this year. Gentlemen, great to have you in the studio today. Welcome back to Money FM.
All right, thank you very much.
Ivan, we had you on just a year ago when you were getting ready for last year's camp. First of all, how did it go last year?
Oh, it went great. Had lots of fun and lots of coverage, and some of the kids are coming back to join us again.
Good. Ivan, for those of our listeners who aren't familiar with the camp, tell us more about it. Tell us what the kids are doing during their 3 days away from home.
Well, I think you put up a very good summary of what the camp's intention is all about, and it's really a camp for them, specifically because most of the persons with disabilities, especially when they're young and growing up in school, they don't get much of a chance to participate in camps. And usually they're actually left by the side and, for their own good, not to get hurt and everything. But I think coming out with a camp is really important to these kids because myself, my developmental needs were actually met through camps. So making friends, getting to know yourself better, communicate and socialize and learn from each other is the key essentials of growing up. And that's what we want to give to these kids, especially those with disabilities and special needs, a chance to have the experience of a 3 days, 2 nights camp with other special needs kids and with disabilities and new friends through befriending so that they continue to move into the journey in life, making more sense of life in itself, especially when they're growing up through the teens. I think that's a very important developmental stage where they need exposure of such activities for their growth.
What's the level of disability that the kids can have to come to this camp? I mean, you know, obviously the spectrum is wide.
Yes.
Where does the camp have certain guidelines in terms of who can come or who maybe cannot come?
All right. Well, I think in a nutshell, we are looking at kids from 16 towards approaching 18 and maybe up to about 20 years old as they transition into their post-18 academic, I would say, realm. And kids can come from all parts of the spectrum. They can come with physical disabilities, sensory disabilities like hearing impairment, visual impairment, as well as those with cognitive developmental delays, and also those who have autism or mild intellectual disabilities. So these form a huge gamut of possibilities for them. So it's actually a spectrum, as you say. We are open to kids who really want to have that experience, also exhibiting a lot of independent living skills so they can hone them in during this camp and making friends at the same time. That's the most essential part of the experience.
I love that idea of friend making. And just one quick question, and then I want to bring in Sebastian, one of the mentors. Do the parents stay with the kids, or do they completely sort of give it over to the volunteer mentors?
They are all alone. So they are alone with the mentors and befrienders. The parents actually get some respite from this whole experience.
Yeah, what does that mean for the parents?
Well, I think it's really a break from their routine. They are constantly in touch with their kids day in, day out. And I think this move towards independence is something that parents really need so that the kids can grow and be away from home once in a while and give the parents the needed time to rest and relax in a way and find their own self during that period. And a lot of the caregivers are really, really thankful for this experience at the same time. So they don't join camp, but they put full trust and faith into the camp befrienders and the organizers so that the kids are all in good hands of Camp X.
We're talking with Ivan Chin, the CEO of Extraordinary People that founded Camp X, or Camp Extraordinary, a volunteer-run 3-day camp for youths between 16 and 20 or so years old with a variety of disabilities. And one of the I think the main thing that makes this thing work are your volunteers and your mentors. Sebastian Anthony is with us also in studio talking, Camp X mentor this year. Sebastian, good morning. And now that we've kind of had all this set up by Ivan, tell us about the mentor and the volunteer experience on this, because you guys are really the ones that make this thing happen.
Thanks very much for this opportunity to expand on this. Basically, as a mentor, right, the idea is to really to build leadership in the amongst the volunteers and especially the committee members, because the role of a mentor is to be a guide. Yeah, so I was involved in Camp X 2024 as a mentor, and to see the young people grow, take ownership, take leadership, and to drive the various subcommittees. So the subcommittees, for example, be it in personnel or sponsorship or logistics or whatever, right? So there are multiple things to do. And as you know, in any camp, it is always very challenging to run a camp, let alone a camp for people with special needs, run by people with special needs. And
unbelievable,
so
right?
It's a completely different thing. The amount of logistics, the amount of support, that, and the amount of thinking that needs to go behind running an operation like this. So it may seem like, hey, it's only 3 days, 2 nights, but it takes a whole year of planning, a whole year of thinking through, putting everything into, even walking the ground for where the camp is going to be, making sure that we don't, that we think through all the issues or where things can go wrong. Yeah. So and it requires that patience and also the ability to get it done. Right. Yeah. So the role of the mentor is really as a guide and to be able to build. And that's one of the reasons, actually we featured that in the book called The Restored Organization. It's some weeks back.
A few weeks ago. Yeah, we had the interview on that.
And that experience of that building of ownership is what is key. Because it's not just about running a camp and that's fine. That's only one thing. But how do we building the next level of leaders? And that's what this camp is all about. It's not just about the people who are coming for the camp, the campers, for example, or like what Ivan was talking about, the parents who are getting a reprieve. That's great, but it's also about the people behind the scenes. How are we building them up? Because many of them are young people who are later on going to take leadership roles in society.
So just to be clear, these young people that you're building up, some of them or many of them do have intellectual or physical challenges of their own?
Well, some do. I wouldn't say everyone.
Sure.
Some do. What do you call, and maybe Ivan can expand a little bit more on that. But having said that, the whole idea is it's about inclusion, right? We never exclude anyone. That's the whole idea.
Yeah. Ivan, tell us about that, the next generation and how you're preparing them.
Right. Well,
even though I know you're both very young men, so no problem. You're going to be around for a long time.
Very young, yes.
Long time.
Well, I think the main intention is to be very inclusive and integrative. So what Sebastian mentioned about having a very compact group of youngsters, not only youngsters, we have our oldest volunteer is about in his 70s, and he's the co-chair, and his son is also a person with disability. So why we want to include this as a prerequisite in the sense that we want everyone to join us, even whether you have a disability or a special need challenge, we really, really welcome everybody to work together. And that's the basis of what inclusion is all about. And integration is really key. And that will convey the fact that we will be creating an inclusive, integrated camp. So that's the crux of what we're trying to do. And as Sebastian rightly mentioned, it's about people development. And it's about education and advocacy. Through this camp, through this leadership experience for these committee members, they are actually being prepared for the next generation. So like I mentioned, the gentleman who is in his 70s, he's already helping the transition of leadership from one generation to the next generation. And this is a beautiful ecosystem they are creating. And it's totally ground up. And this is totally run by volunteers. And we are also seeking a lot more corporates to come in to sponsor, to make that journey even more enjoyable for the committee to work on.
The camp is coming up the 14th to the 16th of November, so there is time for volunteers, for corporates to sponsor and things like that. Give us a little bit of logistics. How many campers are you expecting this year, and where do they actually stay? Where is the camp held? Can you talk about that?
Oh, we could. We are looking at about 30 campers this year.
Okay.
30 very diverse range of disabilities and special needs, and about 35 direct befrienders to match up with this one-to-one-ish, because some of them may need a bit more support. Yeah. And we have a huge volunteer base to ensure that the camp runs optimally. Yeah. So that's the challenge that we have, and we're going to be citing it at the Assumption Pathway School.
Okay,
that's it's a special education institution by itself, and very, very inclusive and accessible. And that's the reason why we chose that location this year, so that we can integrate into that space and really have fun for the kids. Yeah. And we definitely welcome a lot more volunteers to step up, even corporate sponsors to step up, to make it happen in a big way.
Yeah. Sebastian, give us an idea of a typical day, at camp. So the kids wake up and then, obviously breakfast and cleaning up and whatever, but tell us, run us through it, if there is a typical day.
Yeah, sure. Like most camps, right? You wake up, you clean up, and then you get on with the activities for the day. The action starts at waking up. Okay, which itself can be quite a challenging thing, all right, in the sense that
for all of us,
and for cleaning up, right. So what may take an average situation maybe an hour, may take a little bit longer. Let's put it that way.
You're saying with a wink and a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's right. And so because everyone is at a different starting platform, right? Yeah. So some require a little bit longer runway. So that itself takes a bit of time, 1.5, 2 hours, just to get things started, going to breakfast. And even breakfast, we need to be very careful about, food allergies and all of those things, right? So we need to cater for all of that. And by the time the activities start, that's around about 10 o'clock. So there are what we call activities that is more fun. Like it brings teams, so we break them up into little teams. So then they learn to work with each other, because the idea is how do we fashion that and parallel that with the outside world when they start going out to work, because they need to be able to collaborate, they need to be able to discuss issues and get things done. So in a similar playful manner, we actually create games for them. So where then they take part in those activities. But then there's also a grand finale that we have, and we give them time and space. So like this year, our focus is on something musical. So that allows them to experiment their own or develop or find their own talent, right? In a musical instrument or their voice,
Kind of a Camp X has got talent.
That's right. Yeah, precisely.
That's right.
Precisely.
Nice.
So then we allow them time and space during the camp to practice, rehearse until they get it right, and they are happy. And then that becomes a grand finale at the end. So we had something similar last year, But this year we decided to go with a more musical theme.
Yeah.
And so let's see where that goes. Yeah.
Ivan, at the end of the camp, what changes do you notice in? Let's talk first about the campers, and secondly, let's talk about their parents when they come to pick them up. Wow. What does that look like? What is it?
I don't think we have an hour for that, right? Well, I think if you look at the different perspectives, camps are in general very life-changing.
Yeah.
Camp X more particularly because the children, you look at the faces of these children after they finish the last day, faces of joy and sadness because they have really had a real good time, made really good friends, had a time of their lives, and they're going to depart from camp. But therein lies the beautiful part of friendships, where they keep in touch, they continue with their life journey with all these befrienders, and not only them, but the organizers, the volunteers. They could feel that this 3 days, 2 nights was magical. I think the key word is magical because never before you can find this experience in any setting. So it has to be orchestrated, it has to be organized. And here at Extraordinary People, we are very happy to make this happen because if you look at the impact this thing really conveys, it's huge because not only the campers really enjoy themselves, the befrienders really derive, I would say, a huge learning experience for themselves, but they change. The most important thing is that they change, and they change towards a direction where they really, really embrace inclusion in a very different way, more so than before. And they continue to volunteer, they continue to be involved, and they come back to Extraordinary People in various ways and means to see how can they contribute. I think that's the bottom line of what we want this ground-out initiative to happen, is to really create an ecosystem that is truly inclusive, integrative, and impactful. And that's why we want to encourage more people to sign up with Camp X in any way you want, so that we can give you that experience and work together towards building.
How do they do that? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can just sign up with come to our website, extraordinarypeople.sg. It's just give us a tinkle. There's a contact number down there. We will come back to you immediately on any volunteering opportunities for ChemX or even for our charities endeavors.
And sponsorship as well from corporates?
As well for sponsorship, yeah.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. We got to leave it there, gentlemen, but thank you for being with us. Ivan Chin, CEO of Extraordinary People, and Sebastian Anthony, a mentor at Camp X. Camp X is happening the 14th to the 16th of November this year. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll see you next year.
See you again.
Okay.
All right.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.